G'day folks and welcome to Australian UFO Sightings official podcast. I'm your host Anthony Goodall and you're listening to Encounters Down Under. Here we invite guests on the show to tell us about their encounters with aliens and UFOs, where most of our episodes were streamed live from our Facebook page, which gave listeners the opportunity to ask questions to our guests regarding their encounter. If you have had an encounter and would like to be a guest on the show, please get in touch with us. You can send us a message through our Facebook page, Encounters Down Under, or send us an email at australianUFOsightings@outlook.com.au. Be sure to join us on Facebook and share with your friends and family to help us grow, and hopefully encourage others to come forward with their encounter. If you're an iTunes listener and a fan of the show, why not give us that 5-star rating and review, and you could have your review featured on the podcast. But enough of that, let's get into what you've been waiting for. So kick back, relax with your favourite beverage, and enjoy the show. G'day folks and welcome to another episode of Encounters Down Under. Now on this episode we had a fantastic weekend there at Lake Monduran, just a little bit north of Gin there. We had about 15 odd people there join the event there on the my very first UFO expedition there, and it just absolute ripper of a weekend, meeting new people, like-minded, people who've had experiences there, or people just who had a genuine interest in the whole thing. So it was absolutely amazing seeing both sides there, as I was sort of expecting to see mostly people who had experiences there, and it turns out that there was just people who just had a real genuine interest and wanted to find out more about the whole topic there and people's experiences there, which is absolutely great, because it's not very often you sort of come across that. But yeah, look guys, it was an absolute ripper of a weekend, so thank you to everyone who did come in on that weekend there and join in on the fun. Definitely going to do it again at some point there, because it's just way too much fun, and it's just to meet new people. That's the whole thing there, you know. I'm used to talking to people on the podcast here, and I might just see them through the camera sometimes, you know. But it's even better seeing them in person. So unfortunately, I didn't get any pictures or much of the actual whole event itself. I was a bit too busy there, mingling amongst people there, and cooking up the food and all sorts of stuff. And by the time all that sort of stuff happened there, we sort of ran out of time, and it was getting on dusk there, and we started to go and head up and go do a bit of sky watching on the dam wall there at Lake Monduran. So look, I'm going to just go about the park itself there. Look, the park itself, it was absolutely beautiful. It's got spacious areas there for the people who want to do proper camping there, on the unpowered sites there. Plenty of room and space there. The powered sites there were pretty good. I think they were pretty convenient for everyone there, and they even had like the kitchen areas there where they had full barbecue, fridges, hot water, and all sorts of stuff. Toasters, microwave. Really convenient for the people who actually do go camping. You know, in the proper camping, not proper camping, but you know, a bit of a half bit of glamping there. You know, it's got the comforts there. And definitely had the facilities there for, like, you know, toilets and showers and whatnot, and fresh water, which was really good. So look, you know, like the staff there at the camp there, look, thank you very much to them if you're going to be listening to this. Thanks for helping organise this and get things arranged there. It was absolutely fantastic. And look, again, thanks to everyone who actually turned up on the day, because it was just I'm still buzzing about the whole day. It was absolutely awesome. It's actually great meeting all these new people. So look, I'm going to get into the event here a little bit, see what, give you a bit of a brief rundown of what's happening now. This is going to be a bit of a short episode for you, but it was absolutely awesome. It was a fantastic night. It was a bit of a light cloud coverage there, which probably gave us about 90% of the view of the stars, and that it was pretty good. And they didn't really stay around that long either, so it didn't hinder us that much when it comes to the stargazing side of things. But just a couple there were just sort of like, you know, just hindering the view a little bit. But again, it didn't really hinder us that much there. By the time things sort of covered over, it was pretty good, and we were pretty much seeing everything. And where we were on the dam wall there, we pretty much got a 360-degree view of everything around us, which was absolutely great. The only problem was there was a bit of a 2.5 meter wall, which sort of hinder those who weren't really blessed in being tall, so they couldn't really see the eastern horizon very well for when we had a few stars and planets coming up on the horizon there, so they couldn't really get a good idea of the effects that the atmosphere does create when it comes to objects on the horizon. So, but they still got a bit of an idea when they were coming up. So, look, to go on, We saw heaps of bloody satellites there, lots and lots of satellites coming through every couple of minutes. So I think we were spotting one. I don't know what the occasion was for that night there, but like they were just absolutely everywhere. And tell you what, meteorites, shooting stars, they were going crazy as well. We were seeing one every like 10 minutes or so. It was really good. And it's seen an absolute ripper of a meteorite come through. It just had a massive like comet trail behind it. It just kept going and going and going halfway across the sky. And it was absolutely beautiful, absolutely amazing. It had me in a bit of awe for there for a while. Going, wow! Like I've seen heaps of meteorites in my time there, and like I've seen them just fall with a small tail, but this thing just had a massive tail behind it. It was just absolutely beautiful. It literally looked like it was a big ass comet trail, to tell you the truth. And just the light it was just creating behind it as it was coming through the atmosphere, it just gave that extra effect to it. So it was absolutely awesome. Just seeing these sort of things, it's really good to go out there and stargaze. And given the location we weren't really hindered much by street lights or city lights and that. We could see the lights from Bundaberg, which probably was giving a bit of a glow on the eastern side there, but it didn't really affect us too much there for where we were located. So it really did help being where we were. And I think the next location we'll try and get away from the major cities there, and just try and get out a little bit further out. We did where we were located because we were on the dam wall there. This place is fisherman's paradise there for the fresh wateries, and the boats. Oh, people were out in the boats there that night. They were pretty much out there all night, really, just chugging around trying to catch some fish. And that they're pretty committed, these guys. And these guys that were out there fishing had their torches out there, and sort of did be a bit of a pain in the ass a little bit here, but not too bad. Where the point, like we wasn't really affecting us too badly. It's just like you'd be looking out in the dark there, and next thing you get a light shining in your eyes or something distracting you, and yeah. But again, it wasn't too bad at all. So look, we've seen heaps of stars, heaps of planets. We had Jupiter, Saturn, Mars pop up, and to top it off, there, Triffin from Unlocking the Code joined us there with his boys there, with Angus there, and a couple of other blokes there with the UTC. And look, they brought out their telescope, which was absolutely fantastic. People got to go around and go and check out the planets there, check out Jupiter and Mars and a bit of the moon that was sort of just on the 10% of its crescent moon there, which is absolutely still like as much as it was like a little slither of the moon there, it still gave an absolute awesome view of seeing some craters and detail. So it was really good seeing that. So yeah, look, thanks to Triffin and the UTC boys there for getting involved there and bringing out the telescope there and helping out everyone there to get a better understanding of the whole astronomical side of things. So yeah, thanks to that, guys. You're probably wondering if we did attempt to do the CE5 contact there. Unfortunately, we didn't get time to do it. Well, I sort of half forgot about it. I was too busy mingling and people asking questions in regards to the astronomics of the sky, and sort of got distracted there and really didn't think too much of it, trying to contact or do any sort of forms of meditation and that side of things. People were just having too much of a good time and just really mingling and talking and just downright having a good old fashioned chinwag. It was absolutely fantastic. Talking about, it was, like I said, we were spotting satellites here and there, and people were getting distracted with that and going, thinking that that could be something there. I was like, no, it's just a satellite. It's not doing anything fantastic and amazing. So there's no real reason to think otherwise. It's just an ordinary satellite going across. Look, honestly, they are somewhat identified, but because they've got that typical nature of going in a straight line and a constant speed, there's no reason to think they're not a satellite. So yeah. And everyone got a bit of a VIP segment there with Triffin there from Unlocking the Code, and he went on his spiel. He was off. He was off in his own world doing what he does there, what he does best. People asking questions in regards to the ancients and stuff like that. He just he was in his element, to be honest. And everyone was loving it. He's an absolute knowledgeable guy. Just he just knows his stuff. Question, like even people asking questions there, like you wouldn't think you'd have sort of answers to, but he did. When it comes to the whole ancients and just the whole mysteries of the world there, like obviously everything's all on a speculation, of course, but he had some theories there, and it was really compelling, and it's just really good, getting that first hand from Triffin, and Angus throwing in his little two bits and bobs here and there and that, but it was absolutely awesome. So it was great getting that firsthand from Triffin and Angus there. So it was really good. So yeah, thanks guys for doing the little segment there as well and getting involved with the people there again. So it was absolutely awesome. You guys played a massive part in this night. It was really awesome. You're probably going to wonder if we did actually see anything out there. Well, that is questionable. A couple there did. Caleb and Jackie, they claim they saw something that was unusual. They thought it was a satellite at first and just cruising along, and then it sort of just did a 90-degree turn and just shot down to the south or down towards the ground a little bit. I don't know. It was sort of weird. No one else seemed to see it because at that time we had one of the members there became brave enough to go and tell their story to the rest of us there, and everyone was all intrigued and listening to the story and got distracted as obviously they were focusing on him, and no one saw the satellite do what it did, what the Caleb and Jackie claimed. So, but look, that's absolutely amazing. I'm spewing I missed it because I've never seen anything like that myself. Something I've been sort of hanging for, and it's just, I'm spewing I missed it. But to go on as well, something we did see that was absolutely questionable and still questioned now, but it's just a lot of it doesn't make sense. So I would like to say I think we did have an actual genuine sighting of something that is very well unknown. Now, what looked and began to be what looked like a satellite, again, we don't know what they are that are flying across above us there, but, because it's going in a straight line, it's not doing anything unusual. There's no reason to not call it a satellite. But in this particular moment, it was something quite questionable. It's still got me thinking, wondering what the hell was it? Now, I'm not making this bullshit up. Now, everyone who listens to the podcast here knows I'm very critical. I'm analytical on stuff there, and I'm not going to be calling something that's not. This is something that's still got me stumped to this like now. So please believe me when I say this. Like, I really actually feel like we had a genuine sighting of something that was actually really questionable because it didn't defy anything, but it's just unusual in how it acted. So, like I was gonna say, like when we first saw it, it looked like a satellite. It traveled like a satellite. Nothing unusual in that nature. Just traveling the straight trajectory, doing its orbity thing, and just cruise along. And didn't think too much of it, we were sort of looking at, oh yeah, no, satellite there, sort of kept a bit of an eye on it. And I'm not sure if it was me or one of the other guys that were like, hey, you guys see that? And I was like, sort of looking at it and going, I think I just saw that. And what it sort of did is sort of like did a wiggle. Now, I'm not saying like a zigzag where it's like, going from one point to another point and kept doing that along the way. It wiggled. Like, so think it as if, how can I describe this now? Like a laser pointer and you're doing a little bit of a light wiggle, not too much. It's just a little bit of a wiggle as you're moving across the wall or something like that. A bit of a wiggle. It was sort of strange. And I was sort of thinking, is that my eyes? And they're going, you guys see that? And they're like, yeah, no, we saw that. Like, it's like, so it wiggled and like, yeah, it was doing something weird. It just like wobbling side to side, like wobble or something, It just really weird as it's traveling along. And as we all sort of got everyone's attention onto it there, like other people seeing it as well, sort of keeping an eye on it, and everyone's trying to focus. Other people unfortunately didn't see it. They couldn't quite get the focus on where we were sort of looking because it was just starting to get to that point they were starting to fade out. And as it's still trajected along there, it's still doing a bit of wiggles here and there. But then we also started noticing it was starting to like slow down or it might have stopped. I'm not sure. It's sort of hard to get that perception because as it was sort of fading out a little bit, it was sort of hard to get that idea if it was sort of stopping or going. But the strange part is, like, if it was a satellite, it would just keep going at the constant speed and eventually just fade away. But we could still see it regardless, We'll focus on this thing for about a good, oh, mate, oh, geez, I'm trying to think now. I think we had a good 3 to 4 minutes of focusing on this thing. Even though like it was faded out, we could still see the dot as it's going past a couple of stars there, and like we're sort of like getting an idea of what its speed was during this time. Like it was just going super slow as it's going past these stars, and it's just really strange. You're like going, what the hell is that? Because satellites, they just keep going a constant straight line. Don't really, well, they don't divert in speed or anything like that. They just keep going that one straight speed until they eventually fade away and you can't see them anymore because they're going to the dark side of the planet. But this, it's sort of, to me, I sort of think that it's whatever this was. It was cruising along, and if it, for those who I'm a bit of a stickler for times and dates, so I'm going to put down it was 8:55 p.m. at Lake Monduran there in Queensland, and on the 26th of November 2022. So there you go. It's happening around 8:55, at least around that mark anyway. I lost where I was going now because I got distracted with my own thing. Yeah, but look, it's strange because like the whole thing we could still see it regardless. Like this whole time for something that should have faded out ages ago, it was still like we could still see it in our peripheral. Like if you look somewhere, look left or right, you sort of get a better idea of the object itself when it was fading out a little bit. It gives you that bit of better sight, I suppose, with your peripherals there. And it's a bit of a trick with the when it comes to stars and stuff like that, or planets, or even just any sort of form of sky watching using your peripherals there sort of helps out a lot. And so yeah, look, to me, I sort of feel like if this was a craft, the best way I can sort of describe it, say it was a UFO craft, alien craft, or something of that nature. It was cruising along, going across over above us there, and then it's like as if it sort of started going out in towards deep space. That's the best way I could sort of describe it. It's like as if it's sort of gone along its path there and sort of like right over, and we start going out further deeper into space on a bit of a different trajectory. And obviously, it's still going past stars and such like that, but it's just going at a very slow, minimal rate. Now, anyone who has seen the space station go over, from west to east, knows that you can see the space station go across, and it'll just continue going over the horizon. Obviously on its good day, but this thing here, it must have gone out into deep space, started going cruising out that way. And I was hoping, well, we were all hoping that it was going to do something phenomenal, like do one of those massive warp drives or something, something of that hyperspace sort of movement to kind of give us a better idea. Like, yes, we did actually see something that was unusual. Just to confirm it, this would have been fantastic. But unfortunately, it didn't do anything amazing. We sort of eventually lost sight of it as it sort of disappeared. And we actually dubbed it the Wiggler because it was just the way it started off when we first really started taking notice of it. It was just doing the wiggle. And obviously, again, back to my critical sort of analytic mind there, the best description I can sort of give it is maybe it could have been a form of atmospheric distortion with the light going through the atmosphere. But then again, I've never seen a satellite do that as it's cruising along. I've seen hundreds of satellites in my time, and I've never seen it do like a bit of a wiggle or the light being distorted from the atmosphere in that sort of case. So this is what sort of threw me out a little bit there, going, yeah, something unusual is happening here, and it's doing sort of a bit of a wiggly thing. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but everyone was sort of buzzing about that one, going, wow, I feel like we've claimed an actual sighting here tonight. It's just one in a million. And again, guys, I'm not lying about this. Think about good 50% of us who were there seen it. They can back the story up, which is even better because having multiple people there to sort of witness this as well, it gives it more credibility. And again, I'm not here to go and bullshit anyone, try and lie to anyone. I'm here to go and bring out the truth about this whole topic, which is that's what I do. I'm here to bring out the truth, and I'm not going to go and make up this try and get up ratings or anything like that. This is just something that happened to be on that night. what was that? What we were there for? We were there in a UFO expedition to try and see something unusual, something amazing, and yeah, I'll love to say that we actually did see something amazing. There's something that's still questionable, and I can't really give any sort of evidence or indication to what it could be to try and rule it out to what this bloody thing could be. There was mention that I think it's the Artemis that's gone around the moon could quite possibly been that, but then again, I don't think we'd be able to see it from our perspectives there because it's not that big, and I'm not sure if it has that bigger solar panels on it to be able to see it that well. Because like this thing was fairly bright, as your average satellite there, but again, I don't think the Artemis is that big because it was only meant to be doing a bit of test run around the moon and whatnot. So yeah, I've got no explanation for it except for it's got to be something that's, you know, something that's out there. That's the thing. And again, if it was a satellite that was using the Earth's orbit and gravitational pull to go and sort of slingshot around the world, to try and get that better trajectory. Again, like going back towards where the ISS goes over across the sky, you'll see this thing go across the entire horizon basically. And yeah, if this was one of those sort of crafts that was doing the slingshot effect around the Earth, then it should have kept going or at least faded out. And the fact that we could still see it as it slowed or stopped a couple of times, I'm not sure what it was doing. It's really hard to sort of get a grasp on what it was doing. Yeah, it defies everything there. So look, guys, again, I'm gonna say we genuinely see something that we cannot give an answer to. So yeah, I'm stumped. But it was absolutely an awesome night. So yeah, lucky couple there, Jackie and Caleb. They got to see their satellite there cruise along, hit a 90-degree turn, and just shoot straight down. Oh, I wish I saw that, and unfortunately, no one else saw it. So lucky to them, seeing that one there. And yeah, look, it was just an absolutely fantastic night, guys. I hope we get some more people out there next time there and do it all over again because it's just absolutely great meeting all these people there, and just generally talking about the whole topic, which is great. That's the whole thing. That's the whole idea of this. Whilst we were out there trying to spot UFOs, it's just more so just to try and get together and get like-minded people, get a little bit of just a social gathering, basically. It was really good. I can't think much more on just how good this actually really was, and it's one of those things that you just had to be there to really sort of really experience it. And me trying to describe it, I'm probably describing it horribly, but I'm sure you can bear with me here and hopefully get a better grasp of like just how really good it was. It was just really turned out really well. Just it's unfortunate I didn't get any footage there of people there as they were mingling and trying to get other people's stories as they was telling them to each other, and it's just really good, people questioning them and sort of. I can't keep going about it. I'm ranting now to try and keep going, but it was absolutely fantastic, and I really did enjoy it. I really did. Looking forward to the next one there. So, look, guys, look, thank you very much. I do have a couple of little snippets here of some people giving their testimonies on their encounters, their experiences there, which is fantastic. So, thank you for these people there. I've managed to get a capture on before people took off. Thank you guys for giving off their testimonies there. So, look, guys, enjoy. Again, thank you for persisting with me here whilst I'm blabbering on and trying to describe the whole night. But, other than that, yeah, it was a really good night. Besides when it was bedtime there, we had this annoying bloody cow. I don't know if it was snoring or it was growling at us when we were sort of nearby because there was a bit of a cow pack next to us there and it's just doing whatever it was doing, a big grunting or growling or whatever it's trying to do, but it was bloody loud and annoying and just kept going. So I don't think it really liked us being there or it was just snoring really loudly. It was just a bit of a weird one, but people sort of a bit of a laugh and a giggle and a bit of a complaint about it the next morning. They're going, geez, that bloody cow was bloody loud. But yeah, look, I think after everyone went to bed there, it sort of stops, which was good. And again, just laying in bed there, I'll have my swag out and just fell asleep under the stars. It was just absolutely awesome watching more shooting stars go across there. And I don't think anyone got abducted. I don't think anyone really mentioned anything like that. So nothing on that sort of nature. It was just, yeah, it was just really good. So again, guys, look, if you're going to be nearby in the central Queensland area, I'm going to be trying to organise another event at some point next year. So in 2023, and love to go and catch up with you, meet up with you, talk, and hopefully get some more stargazing and hopefully see something amazing again, because that's what we're out here for, try and bring out the truth of what's really out there, and get rid of this bloody stigma that's attached to this whole topic, and obviously the more people that are out there that are having these experiences, they're bringing them forward and talking about it, it sort of really does create a nice little comfort zone there, and it's really good to go and get that, especially that face-to-face sort of testimony from these people there as they're talking about their experiences there, because like you get more of a connection, more of a better vibe of the whole thing when you actually talk about it, and especially like with like-minded people around, it just creates a really awesome atmosphere. So it's really fantastic. But quickly before I do go, a big thank you to everyone who did come this weekend. It was absolutely fantastic having you here. It wouldn't have been what it was without you guys. It was just an absolute marvelous weekend. And again, so thank you very much for everyone who did come out. And it was just absolutely wonderful meeting you, talking to you, and just just generally just meeting, greeting all of you. It's just absolutely wonderful having you out there. So very much appreciated for everyone who did come out. I know we had a fair few people coming from down south, the New South Wales border, down Benora Point and Brizzy Way, and you guys travelled a long way to come up. So very much appreciated. And just look, everyone just absolutely loved how it just came out and just how many people turned up in general. It was absolutely fantastic. So again, thank you everyone who did come in, and I'll look forward to seeing you all again and talking with you again at some point there. It'll be great to see you again. So thanks again, guys. So look, guys, I'm going to shut up here. I'm going to leave finish the show here with these guys there talking about their experiences, their encounters. And look, I look forward to talking to you next time. And till then, I'll hopefully see you on the next event. All right, guys, all the best. And till then, catch you later.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Lee Riley, and I'm from Gympie Way. I lived out on a property outside Gympie, so I was fortunate to be in a situation where there wasn't any lighting, or you didn't get the lights of Gympie actually glowing anywhere near your property, so it was lovely and pitch black looking at the sky. The first time I just happened to go outside with my son, and we were sitting on the pool deck actually and laying on the lay-boy chair things and looking up at the sky. And anyway, after we'd been there for probably an hour, I happened to notice this thing that looked like a star falling in a way in the sky, but it wasn't falling like we know a falling star in the sky is, but it started quite high in the sky, and it was dropping in an incredibly fast rate, and it was coming straight down too. It wasn't bouncing around or going anywhere. It was just coming straight down in the sky so fast for ages. And I was able to get Aaron to fixate his eyes on it and catch it and watch it. And then after it had come down a long, long way for ages, it just all of a sudden it just went bang to the right. Like it was just incredibly fast how sharp a turn to the right it went. And then it headed out to the west after that. So that was my first time that I was very convinced I'd seen something there. And after now seeing satellites and different other things, I still am convinced that that wasn't satellite or anything like that, because it moved entirely different to it all. The second time was probably, and that was roughly about 9:30, 10 at night, a couple of years ago. And then about a year ago, we were out there again, just laying on the pool deck, and I'd been there for only probably a half an hour. We were outside or so, and I looked over the back, and we had a lot of cloud cover that night, so I was a bit disappointed that we may not see anything. And anyway, as the time went by, it did clear up, but I just happened to look out over the back of the hills from my property, over towards Langshore at the back, and in the tree line there was a light shining down over in the tree line, And I said to Aaron, that's weird, that's been just sitting there for ages, you know, like that. Anyway, so I watched it, and it would have been a half an hour, and I said, it's just not moving. I thought it looked like a helicopter, light on a helicopter beam or something, you know. And I thought, that's weird, it hasn't, if it was a plane or a helicopter, it should have come across the sky or whatever by now. So I just sat and watched it, and then all of a sudden, in a split second, it just went straight into the sky, and it ended up bouncing around for about 5 minutes or so over Brisbane. And it was funny because it did this in its action over Brisbane, you know, but like you saw it bouncing around sort of thing. And then it just then went at an incredible speed. It just disappeared straight out to the west again. And the good thing about that ended up like starting at 9 o'clock. I started watching it, and then when it moved and flew out, it was about 9:30. Now I looked on your the Brisbane UFO one, I think it might have been, because someone put a post up and said, did anyone see that thing in the sky last night over Brisbane at about 9:30? And I thought that would have been the one that I saw. Someone else saw it at Ipswich. So I wrote back to the guy and I said, I know where it originated from. It originated from the back of my place, basically. So yeah, I didn't get close enough or anything to see what size it was or anything like that. But yeah, that was my 2 times. And then of course we went out last night looking, but there was loads of satellites last night. So yeah, and it's good to go with experienced people because you learn so much. So thank you.
How are you guys? Caleb Manthe. I guess my first experience wasn't per se a UFO experience or anything, but it's what piqued my interest in it all. About 17 years ago, I was driving into town just on the outskirts of Gympie, and we saw this, what later was described as space junk, fall through the sky, and big blaze of fire, probably 150 metres long, trailing behind it, like massive ball of fire. Would have been easy the size of a 50-cent piece going through the air. We pulled over, Dad took me out and sat me on the roof of the car, and we watched this thing go out over the mountains, and he was about to call up the radio station to let them know that something's come through the atmosphere, but all of a sudden, within a second of getting in the car, it came on and was describing it all in a bit of a interesting way to us. So I guess that was my first peak of interest into something going on, and then a few things would happen over the years. When I was about 17, was it 17? Yeah, it's about 17. We were, I'm lost now.
No, you're right, mate. Yeah.
17 would have been when first we saw something definitely interesting. Would have been about 6 o'clock at night, and yeah, just a wiggly sort of thing going through the sky. No one with me or anything, and was really sort of interested. Started researching that sort of stuff, and as the years would go on and people would kind of have a bit of a laugh at me, I'd go a bit more quiet about the situation, and then we had a bit of a worldwide acknowledgement of it all, and things would seem to get a bit more out of hand. We moved to another property on the outskirts of Gympie where we watched many interesting things through the skies, fire trails that would dart from one side of the sky to the next and then back into the middle and out to the side and leave streaks all over. And I was fortunate enough to have people up on the veranda where I could call out to them and get them to come down and check it out, and we proceeded to watch it for another like 7 to 10 minutes, and they started freaking out a bit, which is cool as well, because it was a bit of justification of what I was seeing instead of just thinking I was a bit crazy. Then then a bit of a light show started to pop up in the upcoming months out the back window. We'd be laying there or sitting watching out the window, and bloody like 7 or 8 orbs would appear in the neighbour's paddock down near where he had a bunch of like old cars that he would restore and fix up and sell. And at first we thought it might have been the reflection of the moon off the back windows and stuff, so went for a walk up the road, and as we'd go up the road they would either turn off or they would fly about 15 metres up in the sky above, like into the treetops, and kind of just dim out there. And there was definitely stuff going on, and they would never stay still. They were always floating around, or go up into the sky when you'd get close and then come back down as you'd walk down the driveway. Yeah, there's been quite a few interesting enough, but never anything up close and personal. I've never seen anything like 100 metres or anything like that, but always something at a distance. And most of my life, like I do remember as a kid having some very interesting lucid dream sort of experiences and astral travel. And there was one time that I thought it was a dream, but there was this car that had been stolen down the road, a little red car, and I had a dream, and I was flying over the neighbourhood in my dream, and I just seen this car, and I was like, that's the stolen car. And I told my mum and that, and fair enough, we went for a drive the next day past the area that I was talking about, and there's the stolen car sitting in the person's backyard. So they called up the cops, and yeah, but that was probably my only real experience of that sort, where I definitely was either outside my body or I perceived it as that. Could have been something else, but I'd seen this all, and then it came to fruition the next day, so it wasn't me making anything up. Yeah, I don't really know what else.
Any thoughts on the whole
I think
aspect?
There's definitely more to it than government or misinterpretation. I think it's definitely either outer world or inner world that we don't understand and know the knowledge behind, and that we might perceive it as extraterrestrial when it might be what's the wording for it, where they live on Earth, or like they might actually live within the Earth itself, and we're thinking that they're coming from other places, but really they're just going up in the sky, getting a look, and then going back down to wherever they're going. And then through all your biblical stories and stuff like that of chariots of fire coming down from the sky and dragons appearing all over the world at the same time and things like that. So I think there's more to it than man, and the fact that it dates back so far is where we can justify that it's not just man and man's story, is that there's way more to it than modern day governments and things like that doing it all. And we really just need to get past the censorship and the mockery of each other when we all have stories that might not line up with someone else's. That maybe we just stop and think for a moment: is it plausible? It might be out of our mind's comprehension, but don't just instantly go to the kicking someone in the shins because you don't agree with their story. That's all I can say.
Awesome. Awesome.
Good way to finish that.
My name's Leanne. I'm late 50s, so I've been around once or twice. My first experience that seemed something strange to me, I was 21. So it was back in 89. And there was a group of us, a bunch of friends, about 10 of us. We used to work in the bars. Some of them were in the band. We were sitting on a veranda in Bedina, looking over the yacht clubs the marinas and out towards the ocean. We all saw it, all 10 of us. There was, we thought it was a helicopter that started coming down. We could see a red light and a green light. And we thought it was a helicopter starting to come down and hover over some of the boats in the marina or over towards the ocean. We were joking and laughing and watching it, and then all of a sudden it just shot off at lightning speed to the right. So we could not explain that. We talked about it for years afterwards because we still remained friends. Nobody could come up with any solution on what that was. And then I'd got married in 92, and my husband and I had a property out near Surat, Roma, St George in that triangle, 14,000 acres. But we used to come back, drive into Toowoomba once a month to stock up on supplies, different things, ammunition, salt for skins, food, different things like that. We're travelling back out from Toowoomba to Roma. We'd passed Tara, and the highway out there 30 years ago was one lane of bitumen. So if another car was coming the other way, both of you had to get off the road with two wheels and pass each other. We'd just gone over a bit of a crest, and on top of the crest, my husband said, we have to get off the road and let this semi pass us, because it was coming down the hill so fast with bright, bright lights, because we're towing a trailer as well. We got off, parked on the side of the road, and these lights came very fast up behind us and simply disappeared. There was no semi. We don't know. We didn't see any craft, we didn't hear any noise, and we don't know where the lights went. But they were there. And then my husband and I divorced later, and I was with a partner at the time. I'm quite into crystals, selling crystals, crystal healing. And we're laying in bed. He'd bought a piece of moldavite. Moldavite is your crystal for your doorway to communication with extraterrestrials. We're laying in bed. He had it on the bedside table. We both heard the voice. We both sat up with a fright. And the words were, "What have you got yourself there?" And we don't know where the voice came from, who it was, or what it was meant to be. The only thing we can think of was they were talking about the moldavite. That's really all I've got. I don't want to go into the paranormal
No, that's all right. That's fine. No, thank you.
stuff.
Cheers.
So that gives a little bit.
Yeah, do you want to give a bit of a context on what your thoughts on the whole thing is? Like the whole aspect of the UFO phenomenon as well? So.
I think that anyone in today's world is very arrogant if they think we are the dominant race, if they think we are the only people or the only species that lives in this entire universe. I think that's just got to be a very stupid, small outlook on what really is out there. There's so much more that we don't know, and it's been documented for thousands of years through every race about spacemen visiting ETs, the technology that was given to us many thousands of years ago, that there just has to be something else out there. I believe there is. I haven't had the proof of seeing anything myself, but I don't disbelieve some of the things that I'm told.
Awesome.
That's about it.
And that will do it, folks, for this episode of Encounters Down Under. I hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, you can also get involved in the show by joining the Facebook page and getting in on the live streams. Also, please be sure to share with your friends and family to help us grow and potentially find our next guest on the show. If you or you know someone who has had an encounter, please get in touch with me through our Facebook page via Messenger or email at australianUFOsightings@outlook.com.au. I look forward to seeing you on the next Encounter Down Under. Hooroo!